1820s they called it the Cockney College, and that godless institution of Gower Street. The University College London's admission of students, regardless of religious persuasion or social background, gave it from the start a reputation for radical innovation. UCL was the first college in England to teach German, Italian and Spanish. It was also the first to teach women, long before emancipation elsewhere. William Ramsay discovered the inert or noble gases at UCL: argon, neon, krypton and xenon. His colleague Norman Colley took the first clinical X-ray at University College Hospital. Electronics was born here too, with Ambrose Fleming's thermionic valve. Today, the tradition of innovation continues. UCL has 7 faculties with over 90 departments, between them offering getting on for 400 taught degrees. There are 11,500 students from more than 100 different countries. Over 3,500 graduate every year. But it wasn't always thus. When UCL opened its doors in 1828 as the University of London, opposition from other academic institutions prevented its getting a royal charter. For 8 years, students got certificates of honour at a distribution of prizes, but nobody could actually graduate. In 1836, a new University of London was set up, initially as an examination board for several London colleges, including what then became University College London. 3 years later, it awarded its first degrees, but there was no official ceremony to go with them. Then, in 1849, new graduates were presented to the University Chancellor for the first time. The idea caught on, growing over the years to become a huge University of London presentation day at the Royal Albert Hall for thousands of graduates, several times a year. Today, individual London colleges are more independent of the Federal University, and since 1992, UCL has held, at long last, its own graduation ceremony. For today's graduates, though, the UCL ceremony isn't the end of the story. Quite a few stay on for further specialised study. 1 student in 6 is a postgraduate. But even in the professional world, ties with college days are strong. Many former students put into practice vocational skills learnt as part of their degree course, like law, medicine, or engineering. Others use skills learnt alongside their academic work: theatre, music, even television. Many maintain their membership of UCL Union to continue with these extracurricular activities. But graduates can also join UCL's Alumnus Association, which organises class reunions. However you use your college after you leave it, UCL has been, and will continue to be, an education for life.
My pleasure to welcome you to the Logan Hall and UCL's graduation ceremony. I'm Martin Butcher, and I'm the registrar of the college. For the purposes of these graduation ceremonies, my role is to act as a prologue and to achieve in 5 minutes what the government has failed to achieve in 17 years, to make you feel good. I am, for UCL's graduation ceremonies, what Bruce Forsyth used to be to the cup final, the warm-up man. At UCL, the registrar has responsibility for administering the discipline committee, so it is also my task to ensure that these ceremonies proceed without any conduct which is likely to bring the college into disrepute. I must ask you, therefore, to keep incidents of gross moral turpitude to an absolute minimum. Graduation ceremonies take various forms. At some universities, they're a kind of academic sheep dip. A number of graduands, docile as sheep, are corralled together and then bathed in Latin. Thus cleansed of undergraduate status, they are fleeced of the required fees. The UCL ceremony is a horse of a different colour. What it may lack in duration, it makes up for in quality. The UCL ceremony is the real thing. Not Pepsi, not Virgin, but the Coca-Cola of graduation ceremonies. I turn to the graduands. UCL believes education is a lifelong process. So, although you've completed your formal degree program, even during this graduation ceremony, you will continue to undergo a personal development process. The proceedings are so organized that a number of valuable transferable skills will be imparted to you without your noticing it by a kind of ceremonial osmosis. Your first test was to find the seat with your name on it. This simple navigational task will be reinforced when we require you to leave your seat, come to the platform, and then find your way back again in semi-darkness. Having found the card with your name on it, between now and the start of the presentation, we want you to memorize your name. This knowledge in itself will be useful to you on many occasions during your life, but here and now, if you lose your card between your seat and the platform, you will be able to demonstrate your adaptability in a crisis by whispering your name to the dean. When you come to the platform, the dean will announce your name. You are then faced with the challenge of walking across the stage in the spotlight. This includes a simple anatomy test. You are expected to identify the provost's hand and to shake it. At this point, I digress for a moment to clear up a possible misunderstanding. Earlier this year, some of you may have seen a television series in which a distinguished professor of genetics of the college began one program by opening up the cabinet in which our auto icon, Jeremy Bentham, sits and announcing, "This is my boss." Now, there are two things I should say about this. Firstly, the provost, Sir Derek Roberts, is alive and well and happily continues to support Manchester United. And secondly, when the graduands walk across the stage here, they will not be shaking hands with Jeremy Bentham. There is presently a searching investigation going on into the question which has exercised some of the greatest minds since the time of Plato's Academy. What is a graduate? What is graduateness? The Office for the Investigation of Standards in Higher Education, known by the acronym of Office Head, is focusing upon issues such as quality thresholds, core skills, fitness for purpose, upward drift, and so forth. As part of this exercise, there is one group examining degree titles. In these days of political correctness, can we continue to award bachelor's and master's degrees? Can the economy flourish with the plethora of graduates coming onto the market with such degree titles as B.Fin, B.Mus, BSE, LA Law, or B.Bus Studs? As graduates, you will be looking for a career, and UCL would wish you to set your sights high. You might aspire to be king or queen or the Pope, but regrettably there is only one vacancy for each of these posts, and the qualifications are rather specialized. Do not be disappointed that you may never be addressed as Your Highness or Your Holiness. The college has decided that those who hold a degree from UCL should in future be addressed as Your Graduateness. I referred earlier to the subject of names. Last year, degrees were awarded to Tosan Olumide Ebingbaye Popo, to Narias Yasmin Batul Dohmadi, and Siobhan D. McTavish, to name but three. And in the green room at the back of the stage here, the deans who will read out the names are even now undergoing intensive training in pronunciation. On their behalf, may I ask your indulgence if any of them should stumble over unfamiliar consonant gradation, swallow an irregular diphthong, pronounce a silent Q, or fail to enunciate correctly Vigdis Finnbogadottir, Ahti Karjalainen, Newt Gingrich, or St. John Chumley Fanshawe, none of whom will be graduating today. If this were a television program, at appropriate moments, the audience would be instructed to respond by a presenter holding up a cue card saying clap, or guffaw, or come on down. Now, we felt it was not appropriate for a Dean of University College London to perform this function at our ceremonies. But on the other hand, continuous or undisciplined clapping may drown the voices of our deans who will be announcing the names. We, and you, I'm sure, want every name to be heard and every graduand to get his or her due credit. And so we think there is a need to orchestrate the applause in some way, and what I would like to suggest is that if you wish to applaud or cheer graduands individually as they walk across the stage, please do so. But I ask you to allow the Dean to announce the name of the graduand clearly first. Please do not clap when the Dean is not expecting it. At the end of each graduating group, the Dean will also lead you in a general ovation for those who have just processed. Then we want everyone to clap extravagantly. Next, some prohibitions. I have to ask you not to use video cameras or to take flash photographs. The local authority forbids both kinds of photography, and if any of you break these rules, I really don't know what we'll do. The use of mobile phones during the ceremony will be regarded as an act of gross moral turpitude. When I finish these instructions, there will be a musical interlude before the procession enters. Oasis have had to withdraw at the last minute owing to a recurrence of Noel Gallagher's laryngitis. But they are replaced by Abachi, a quartet of brass. When the procession enters, we do not want you to be intellectually idle. Please do not simply gawp. You can usefully speculate on possible uses for the college mace. You can assess the relative merits of the gowns displayed and the catwalk potential of the wearers. But in particular, can I recommend that you practice your command of collective nouns on this gaggle of academics. There will be a lack of principals, a forest of deans, and very possibly a loss of faculties. This is a formal occasion, but more importantly, it is a celebration of achievement, a day when we, as the college, are indeed proud of our students and happy for them. So I've left to last the most important, indeed perhaps the only important instruction. More than anything, we urge you to enjoy the ceremony, to savor the occasion, to have fun. This is a day which we hope you will remember with great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will now enter the Logan Hall. Would you please stand?
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honour and privilege to welcome you all to University College London's 1996 graduation ceremonies. At this, the second of 12 ceremonies we're holding this month, we're proud to see our graduates from the Faculty of Engineering. In thinking about the theme for a few words that are obligatory on this kind of occasion, I decided to adopt as my theme, being two-faced. Now, at first sight, you might think that I'm going to launch into yet another attack on politicians. I've seen the need to write and to talk extensively about the lack of both government funds and government honesty with regard to university education. But nevertheless, I could go on about such factors as the Prime Minister in the House of Commons in response to a question on the funding of higher education, saying that the universities have nothing to complain about because in real terms their funds over the last 7 or 8 years increased by 23%, which was true. What he omitted to say is that in equally real terms the number of students increased by 70%. And that creates rather a disparity in terms of resources. Equally, I could go on about another example of being rather frugal with the truth. When the government in its budget last November decided to cut over £400 million from the university's equipment budget for this year, no notice, a 30% cut, just like that. The public stance taken by ministers is that this will not create a problem for the universities because we can get all the money back through the private finance initiative. Now, the PFI hasn't worked in any other area, and why they should consider it should work when it comes to buying a new fume cupboard, I'm not quite sure. But the point about being two-faced, of course, is that the same ministers in private admit, and I'm using their words, that it was a cock-up. It was a great mistake, and, but they lack the sort of intellectual honesty to put it right. But no, I'm not going to go on about being two-faced in politics. That would, as I said, I'm getting bored. It's too easy. Rather, I wish to draw your attention to an alternative interpretation of the phrase being two-faced. I hope that you noticed the mace when it came in, and if you look at on the back of the brochures that you have, and I mean, for the next couple of minutes you may want to read the brochure rather than listening to me anyway, but right at the bottom, in fact, there is what is called a Janus figure, with two faces looking in opposite directions. Maybe for the sake of the engineering graduates, I should explain that Janus was the Roman god regarded as the guardian of gateways and doors, hence the benefit of being able to see in both directions. The reason why the designer of the mace incorporated a Janus figure in the newly designed mace was because he felt that it was symbolic of the fact that whilst UCL is quite justifiably proud and conscious of its history, we're committed to avoiding complacency. There's no point in sitting back on one's history. We can feel proud about it, but the real concern we have to have is that the pursuit of the future, in which we intend to pursue the provision of excellence in the educational experience that we provide our students, but also excellence in the scholarship and research that we pursue, in spite of the difficulties of dealing with two-faced governments. However, the best, indeed the only way that the world at large can judge whether UCL is achieving its objectives in terms of the excellence of the educational process that we operate is to look at the quality of the graduates who participate in that experience, as represented by today's graduates. And I'm sure that by the end, if not at the beginning of this morning, you will share my view that we are achieving excellence as viewed by the quality of the output. And without any more ado at this stage, I now declare open a ceremony for the presentation of graduates.
Provost. On behalf of the Faculty of Engineering, I have pleasure in presenting to you these candidates who've been admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Engineering, Master of Engineering, or who've been awarded a postgraduate qualification. The following candidates have been awarded the degree of Bachelor of Engineering. Michael Calvert. Andrew Goody. Rania Nassar. Bachelor of Engineering in Biochemical Engineering. Henry Bateson. Jonathan Howe. Elaine Liao. Nicholas Willoughby. Shall we have a general applause break for those candidates? Bachelor of Engineering in Chemical Engineering. Vanessa Braithwaite. Marco Campisi. Benjamin Carvel. Piers Element. Elizabeth Evanson. Din Hashim. Chayat Hulting. Himantha Jayasingh. Ranjot Kela. Christos Kypri. Wai Chin Siu. Patrick Thomas. Philip Tufts. Sanjay Vaja. Wai Ming Mo. Shall we applaud that group of candidates again? Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering. Kyprianos Anatoglou. Evangelis Bardis. Bakhtawa Beg. Blatso Bojic. Hassan Buhadi. James Collier. Nikki Dandalos. Sajiwa Disanayaka. Hussam Kaulish. George Hamalakis. Andrew Hawkins. Sin Ping Hui. Rodney Hutchinson. Leo Inouye. Alexander Istari. Naoki Iwai. Fahim Kamali. Pak Lun Lo. Peter Marsland. Paul Nardell. Wen Chin Ung. Yu Shin Mark Ngang. Hezekiah Oko. Vishal Patel. Cheng Yi Poon. Faris Smadi. Naresh Suglani. Krisanti Viranagamij. Nikolaos Vlachougiannis. Eddie Wong. Shall we applaud them again? Bachelor of Engineering in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Evan Gavas. Deepak Goresia. Shanta King. Chun Hai Kwok. Amanda Searle. Bachelor of Engineering in Structural Engineering. Rula Al-Jadir. Robin Hounsell. James Toop. Bachelor of Engineering in Electronic and Electrical Engineering. James Adcock. Gazoan Ali. Marios Abram. Chai Seong Gui. Chong Wai Yu. William Jenkins. Fu Kim Lian. Dimitris Livanos. John Mitchell. Boon Lee Tan. Alfred Tang. Shall we have another break for applause? Bachelor of Engineering in Electronic Engineering with Computer Science. Ahmed Alumya. Giuliano Chatsikostas. Naeem Malik. Usama Mansour. William McIntaggart. Iskender Mibratu. Muzahidul Mia. Rajinder Notai. Anthony Nunes. Sahil Salim. Raphael Udin, Elliot West, James Wilson, Bachelor of Engineering in Electronic Engineering with Management Studies, Philip Miao, Shazril Mokhtar, David Quick, Mark Smith, Barrington Trim, Bachelor of Engineering in Electronic Engineering with Medical Electronics, Amal Katab, Brendan Slate, Bachelor of Engineering in Electronic Engineering with Optoelectronics, Effendi Shahul Hamid, Stephen Jones, Long Huang Lam, Bachelor of Engineering in Engineering with Business Finance, Samir Ali Feroze, Andrew Griffiths, Ivor Luke, Sarah Mosey, Khalid Naim, Kanita Nasir, Cedric Nike, Anil Nurani, Nicholas Planner, Pulin Shah, Paul Stockwell, Tamas Jabot, Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Hadrian Bulmer Thomas, Clifford Clark, Martin Davey, John Giramoshos, Sadiq Hamami, Jonathan Hunt, Marios Iannou, Dilaka Lathapipat, Hao Chi Lee, Carlos Santos, Bijan Talei Faz, Buvun Teo, Haruna Umru Mohammed, That concludes the list of candidates from the Faculty of Engineering. Thank you, Provost.
As Provost of University College London, I congratulate these graduates of the University of London on their academic achievements. You may have noticed the reference with regard to one of the master's degrees to the use of the word chaos, and I must admit I continue to be dubious about whether studying chaos theory is in the interest of generating it or dealing with it, but maybe it's a little bit of each. In my few words earlier, I described Janus as the guardian of gateways. What I omitted to say is that, significantly in the context of today's event, Janus was also seen as the god of beginnings. And today's ceremony marks a beginning in your lives, our graduates, of whom we're extremely proud. I hope that your time at UCL has equipped you well for whatever you choose to do next. Not just equipped academically, but also in terms of the friendships that you've developed and the extent to which you have a greater awareness of the variety of future career options that you can exercise. Whatever you choose, I wish you every happiness and every success. In looking to the future, I hope that you will occasionally, Janus-like, look over your shoulder and view your time at UCL with pleasure and affection. I also hope that you'll keep in touch via the UCL Alumnus Association and its rapidly developing worldwide network, and that when you've made a fortune, you'll remember your old college. I think that everybody that studies at UCL benefits enormously from the quality of the academic staff. And I think that there are many other people than the academic staff who also serve the college extremely well. You had an excellent example of that in the warm-up from our registrar, Martin Butcher, which I had the pleasure of listening to on the side. And one of Martin's colleagues is the person who is held responsible when everything goes wrong today, and we really ought to give her the credit for the fact that things haven't gone wrong. Denise Long. I'd also invite today's graduates to take a particular opportunity. Would you all please rise to your feet? Please, all of you, on your feet. And turn to your left. That's that way. And take this opportunity of expressing your thanks to the people who supported you during your time at UCL. You may sit. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our presentation ceremony. I now invite the graduates to join the academic procession. Thank you.